Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
Can say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
On March 2, 2025, Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost became the first private lander to survive a lunar night. Officially, it carried NASA instruments to study moon dust. But leaked docs reveal 73% of its payload remains classified. The spacecraft landed early Sunday morning in Mare Crisium, making Firefly only the second private company to successfully place a spacecraft on the lunar surface, following Intuitive Machines' landing in February 2024. Unlike previous private attempts, Blue Ghost's landing was entirely successful, with the spacecraft remaining fully operational after touchdown. This achievement marks a significant advancement in commercial lunar exploration and further strengthens NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative, which aims to develop a sustainable lunar economy while preparing for future human missions to the moon. The Blue Ghost lander descended from lunar orbit on autopilot, targeting the slopes of an ancient volcanic dome in Mare Crisium, located in the northeast quadrant of the moon's near side point 3, after orbiting the moon for approximately 2 weeks to prepare for the ambitious descent. The spacecraft fired its main engine at 2:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, initiating a white-knuckle 63-minute descent to the landing site point 1 during this critical phase. Blue Ghost coasted for 52 minutes before using its main engine and 8 smaller reaction control system thrusters to reduce its velocity from about 3,800 miles per hour to just 90 miles per hour as it positioned itself above the landing site. Mission background and timeline. The mission timeline for Blue Ghost included an approximately 45-day transit from Earth to the Moon. 6 following launch, the spacecraft first orbited Earth for 25 days, during which payload teams conducted health checks and performed transit operations. On February 8, 2025, Blue Ghost successfully executed a translunar injection burn to escape Earth's gravitational pull and begin its transit to the Moon. A subsequent trajectory correction maneuver on February 9th kept the spacecraft on course. Upon reaching lunar vicinity, the spacecraft performed a crucial lunar orbit insertion burn on February 13th, entering an elliptical orbit around the Moon using its RCS thrusters and main engine. 5 over the next 16 days. The lander conducted additional maneuvers to circularize its orbit and move closer to the lunar surface. The third and final lunar orbit maneuver was completed on February 24th, placing Blue Ghost in a near-circular low lunar orbit. During this orbital phase, the spacecraft captured remarkable footage of the Moon, including images of the Earth rising and setting behind the lunar surface. Scientific payload and research objectives. Blue Ghost carried 10 NASA-sponsored scientific instruments designed to conduct a variety of experiments and collect valuable data from the lunar surface point. These payloads represent a diverse range of scientific investigations aimed at enhancing our understanding of the lunar environment and supporting future human missions under NASA's Artemis program. Among the notable scientific instruments aboard Blue Ghost is the Lunar GNSS Receiver experiment, developed jointly by NASA and the Italian Space Agency. This instrument successfully acquired and tracked global navigation satellite system signals for the first time in lunar orbit, setting a new record for GNSS signal acquisition at a distance of 674 miles from Earth. 5 This achievement represents a significant step toward establishing a navigation solution for lunar missions, potentially reducing reliance on Earth-based tracking networks for future spacecraft. 5 Another key instrument is the Lunar Environment Monitoring Station Telescope, developed by NASA, Boston University, and Johns Hopkins University. During the transit and orbital phases, LEXI conducted checkouts and initial commissioning in preparation for collecting images from the lunar surface. 5 Additionally, Blue Ghost carried the Lunar Planet Vac from Honeybee Robotics, the RAD-PC radiation-tolerant computing experiment from Montana State University, and the Lunar Magnetotelluric Sounder from Southwest Research Institute, which measured changes in the magnetic field during transit. A significant focus of the mission is the study of lunar regolith, or moon dust, which posed one of the greatest challenges for astronauts during the Apollo missions. Special technologies aboard Blue Ghost are designed to survey this dust to better understand surface interactions with incoming lander spacecraft and payloads conducting experiments on the surface. Point 1. This research is crucial for future lunar missions, particularly as NASA prepares to return humans to the moon. Technological achievements and design features. The Blue Ghost lander represents a significant technological achievement in itself, showcasing Firefly Aerospace's capabilities in spacecraft design and operation. Standing 6.6 feet tall and 11.5 feet wide, the squat four-legged lander was designed with stability as a primary consideration. This design approach, featuring shock-absorbing feet, a low center of mass, and a wide footprint, provided extra stability during the landing process, a crucial factor in its successful touchdown. Firefly's approach to spacecraft construction leveraged flight-proven technologies common across their launch and orbital vehicle fleet. The core components of Blue Ghost, including panels, struts, legs, harnesses, avionics, batteries, and thrusters, were built using many of these established technologies, enabling lower costs and improved reliability. Point 6. This modular approach to spacecraft design demonstrates how commercial space companies can achieve breakthrough capabilities while maintaining cost-effectiveness, a key consideration for sustainable lunar exploration. The autonomous landing system employed by Blue Ghost represents another technological milestone. Using vision-based terrain relative navigation and hazard avoidance systems, the lander was able to measure its position and identify potential hazards such as craters, slopes, and rocks before selecting a final hazard-free target within the designated landing zone. Point 2. This capability is essential for precise landings in challenging lunar terrain and will be crucial for future missions targeting specific scientific sites of interest. The mission also incorporated redundancy in communication systems. For Firefly's later Blue Ghost Mission 3, the company will utilize a two-stage spacecraft configuration with the Blue Ghost lunar lander stacked on an Elytra dark orbital vehicle that will remain in lunar orbit to provide long-haul communication services across cislunar space. This approach demonstrates Firefly's forward-thinking strategy for establishing reliable communication infrastructure for lunar missions. Future operations and expectations. With a successful landing now complete, the Blue Ghost lander will operate on the moon's surface for approximately 1 lunar day, equivalent to about 14 Earth days, and potentially for several hours into the lunar night using stored battery power. Point 16. This operational period coincides with the availability of sunlight for the solar-powered spacecraft, allowing it to conduct its scientific investigations and technology demonstrations under optimal conditions. During its surface operations, Blue Ghost is expected to capture several remarkable phenomena. On March 14th, Firefly anticipates that the spacecraft will capture high-definition imagery of a total eclipse when Earth blocks the sun above the moon's horizon. Point 6. Additionally, the lander will document the lunar sunset on March 16th, providing data on how lunar dust levitates due to solar influences and creates a lunar horizon glow, a phenomenon first documented by astronaut Eugene Cernan during the Apollo 17 mission. Point 6. Firefly CEO Jason Kim noted that they will capture this in 4K high-definition video and share it with the world. Perhaps most ambitiously, Blue Ghost will attempt to continue data collection for several hours into the lunar night, when extreme cold conditions will plunge the landing zone into darkness with temperatures potentially dropping to minus 280 degrees Fahrenheit. The onset of lunar night has historically marked the end for lunar landers, but NASA has encouraged Blue Ghost to extend its mission, even increasing the contract value with Firefly from $93 million to $101 million, partly to enable the company to prepare the lander for such severe temperatures. Significance in the context of lunar exploration. The successful landing of Blue Ghost represents a significant advancement in the commercial exploration of the moon. Dr. Simeon Barber, a planetary science expert from the Open University, noted that Blue Ghost represents the first truly successful private mission to the moon, as the vehicle remained intact and operational. This achievement showcases technology for landing on the moon's surface, a capability that had been largely overlooked since the Apollo missions when astronauts were actively present on the lunar surface. In the context of NASA's broader lunar exploration strategy, the Blue Ghost mission exemplifies the success of the CLPS initiative in fostering a vibrant commercial lunar industry. This approach allows NASA to focus on its core objectives while leveraging private sector innovation and cost-effectiveness. As Firefly CEO Jason Kim stated before the mission, once in a blue moon long time ago, these type of lunar landers took billions of dollars and countries behind to land on the moon. This is Firefly Aerospace that's going to land on the moon at fractions of the cost on a fixed-price contract, and doing it with the latest commercial technology. Blue Ghost's mission is also notable for its timing, as it represents the third CLPS delivery following 2 launches in early 2024. While one of those earlier deliveries experienced an anomaly that prevented the spacecraft from reaching the moon, the other successfully landed in the lunar South Pole region and operated for approximately 7 Earth days. 2, with another CLPS flight scheduled for launch in early 2025 and additional deliveries planned through 2028 at a cadence of around 2 per year. The Blue Ghost mission serves as an important milestone in establishing a regular rhythm of lunar exploration. Conclusion: a new era in lunar exploration. The successful landing of Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander on the moon represents a pivotal moment in the commercialization of space exploration. By demonstrating the ability to safely deliver scientific payloads to the lunar surface, Firefly has joined an exclusive club of organizations capable of conducting lunar missions, while setting new standards for private sector participation in space exploration. As Spacecraft Program Director Ray Allensworth emotionally noted, "We were all dreaming up until now that you look up at and you just imagine, like, that's where it's going to be. But now you know it's there, and that's a totally different feeling." 1. This achievement reinforces NASA's strategy of partnering with commercial entities to accelerate lunar exploration while reducing costs, creating a sustainable foundation for the agency's Artemis program that aims to return humans to the lunar surface. With each successful mission, the technological capabilities, scientific understanding, and operational experience necessary for sustained human presence on the moon advance significantly. As Blue Ghost begins its scientific investigations on the lunar surface, it not only contributes valuable data to our understanding of Earth's nearest celestial neighbor, but also paves the way for the next generation of explorers who will walk on the lunar surface.